My elderly mother's nurse stole her jewelry and convinced her she was losing things due to dementia. Mom became paranoid and isolated while the nurse sold everything online. The Alzheimer's medication she was secretly giving healthy patients raised questions. I'm Rachel, 34 years old, female, and my hands are shaking as I type this from my car outside my mother's house because the smell of her lavender lotion is still in my hair, and it makes me want to scream. My mother is Lydia, 74 years old, female. She's the kind of woman who keeps grocery receipts paperclipped to recipes just in case, who does the crossword in ink and grins when she nails the Sunday clues. She is not forgetful, she is not fragile. Or she wasn't until a few months ago when we hired a nurse named Tara, 29 years old, female, from a reputable agency, and things went sideways so fast my head's still spinning. My brother is Eric, 38 years old, male. He lives 40 minutes away and has that practical, older sibling confidence, the "we will handle this" tone that usually calms me down. He pushed for in-home help after Mom slipped in the shower in March. Nothing broke, but it scared us. He found Tara through a friend at work. "She's great with older patients," he said. "Everyone says she's a gem." The first day I met Tara, she wore white sneakers and a tight ponytail and an expression that was all soft concern. She moved around my mother's kitchen like she'd been there forever. Rinsed a mug, tightened the cap of the olive oil, tucked a stray dish towel back on its hook. Efficient. Friendly. But there was this moment when she opened the spice cabinet and saw the chaos. Labels half-turned, cinnamon next to cumin, and her smile flickered like a muscle twitch. She slammed the cabinet a little too hard, then apologized so quickly it felt more like a reflex than a real sorry. The next week, Mom's sapphire studs went missing. They were a 50th anniversary gift from my father. She kept them in a ceramic bowl shaped like an open hand. I grew up seeing them right there, blue sparks in the morning light. When I asked about them, Mom frowned, tapped the bowl, then stared at the wall like it had an answer printed on it. "I must have put them somewhere safe," she said. She laughed, this thin, embarrassed sound that wasn't hers. Tara touched her shoulder. "It's normal, sweetie. We all misplace things." Then she looked at me like I was the one making a big deal out of it. "We'll find them." We didn't find them. 2 days later, I found Mom's wedding band tucked under a placemat in the dining room, like it had been pushed there by a careless hand. When I lifted the placemat, my heart did this strange lurch because the fabric had a dust outline of the ring, a perfect circle, like a pale ghost. Mom stared at it, and her face crumpled. "I'm losing my mind," she whispered. The third week, Tara switched Mom's pill organizer. "I updated her schedule," she said, smiling. "Dr. Bowen's orders." Dr. Bowen is fictional. That name didn't exist in any of Mom's files. I didn't know that yet. I just remember the organizer looked different. More compartments, bright colors. The lids snapped shut so hard they left crescents in my fingertips. When I asked what changed, Tara's voice got syrupy sweet. "A little something to help with focus. Totally standard at her age." She held my gaze a split second too long, like a dare. Little things started rewriting the house. The living room, always cozy, got sterile. The Afghan my grandmother knitted disappeared from the back of the couch. "At the dry cleaners," Tara said. The mail arrived opened, but not in Mom's usual neat pile. It was spread like a fan on the counter. I found a white plastic pharmacy bag in the trash with a torn-off label. The glue was still tacky. Mom changed too. Not a big dramatic fall, no. A slow dimming. She started checking the locks 3 times. She called me to ask if I had her blender when the blender was right there, plugged in. She turned off the TV because the people on it were talking about me. She flinched if I moved too fast. And she stopped going to bingo because she said her friends were whispering. She'd sit at the kitchen table and pick at a cracked spot in the laminate until little curls of fake wood piled under her nail. I wanted to take her hand and force the world to apologize to her. Eric said, "She's 74, Rach. Some confusion is normal." Tara nodded along like a metronome. "It's okay to be scared," she told my mother, with this soft hush that made me feel pushed out of my own family. That night I lay awake replaying the flicker in Tara's smile, the slam of the cabinet, the missing studs, the pill box that wasn't ours. It felt like standing in front of a painting and watching the colors move, and nobody else could see it. The worst part? Mom started to believe Tara over me, over her own daughter. When I said, "You're not crazy," she winced and asked if I could give her space. Tara's space. The lavender lotion on my sleeve smelled like someone else had already taken my place. When I came back 2 mornings later, the house felt heavier, like even the walls were tired. Mom's robe hung crooked on her frame, her fingers shaking as she tried to pour coffee. Tara was already there, smiling too brightly, like she'd been waiting for me. I noticed the ring first. Not Mom's wedding ring, but a thin gold band I'd never seen before, flashing on Tara's finger as she reached for the sugar. It looked suspiciously like something from Mom's jewelry box. I couldn't bite my tongue. "Nice ring," I said flatly. Tara didn't miss a beat. "Oh, this? Thrift shop find." Then she leaned close to Mom, stage whispering, "Rachel's got such an eye for these things. You're lucky she checks in." Mom flinched. Not laughed, not smiled, flinched. That day, I found the pill organizer again, tucked halfway under the couch cushion. One of the compartments had popped open, the pills scattered like confetti on the floor. I crouched down, picked one up, and felt my stomach turn. It wasn't anything Mom was prescribed. I knew her meds. This one had a slick coating, unfamiliar. When I asked Tara, her whole face changed, like shutters snapping shut. "Doctor's orders," she snapped. I pushed. "Which doctor? Show me the paperwork." Her voice went sugary again, too sugary. "You're stressed, Rachel. You don't need to understand everything. Trust me." I didn't trust her. That night I called Eric. He sighed so loudly into the phone it felt like he was rolling his eyes right through the speaker. "Rach, you're spiraling. If Mom's doctor prescribed it, it's fine. Maybe you're just seeing things that aren't there." That cut deep. Because I was seeing things. I just wasn't imagining them. The breaking point came the next week. I found Mom crying in her bedroom, clutching an empty velvet box. The pearl necklace, her mother's, passed down through 3 generations, was gone. Mom whispered, "I must have lost it," like she was confessing a crime. I stormed into the kitchen, holding the box. "Where is it, Tara?" Her smile cracked this time. She slammed a mug onto the counter so hard it shattered. "Don't you dare accuse me in front of her," she screamed, her voice high and jagged. Mom actually cowered, while Tara towered over me, chest heaving. "You think you're the hero? You think you're saving her? You're making her worse? She needs me, not your dramatics." Before I could answer, she grabbed her purse, stormed out, and slammed the door so violently the framed wedding photo of my parents crashed to the floor, glass splintering across the hardwood. Mom stared at the broken picture, whispering, "He's gone. He's gone," like my father had just died all over again. And that was when I knew. This wasn't just jewelry. It wasn't just paranoia. Tara was actively breaking her, piece by piece, until my mother didn't trust her own mind. I swept up the glass with shaking hands and promised myself I was going to catch Tara. Not just for stealing, not just for gaslighting, but for poisoning my mother's life with whatever those pills were. That night, for the first time, I locked myself in Mom's old study, opened my laptop, and started digging. And what I found made me sick. Don't forget to subscribe. I barely slept that night. I sat in Mom's dusty old study, clicking through online pharmacy databases, resale platforms, even sketchy forums. It didn't take long. Tara had been sloppy. First, breadcrumb. An eBay account under the username Gemini Caregiver. Listed, sapphire studs, almost identical to Mom's, ending soon, bids already high. I knew those studs like my own face. The listing photos even had the same little nick on the gold clasp where Mom once dropped them on the porch. Second breadcrumb. A seller's profile on Facebook Marketplace. Jewelry, perfume, even handbags, captioned with cutesy emojis, posted from a location 20 minutes away. The profile picture? Cropped, but unmistakably Tara's hand with that same chipped coral nail polish. By the third breadcrumb, my stomach was ice. A pharmacy bag photo someone had uploaded to Reddit as a warning about shady pills. identical pill imprint as the ones I found under Mom's couch. The comment said it was Dunpezil, Alzheimer's medication. But my mother doesn't have Alzheimer's. At 2 a.m., I printed every screenshot, every listing. When the printer jammed, I wanted to rip it from the wall. Instead, I shoved the papers into a manila folder and locked it in my car. The next morning, I tested my theory. Mom's pill organizer was in the kitchen. I pretended to tidy while Tara wasn't looking and swapped one of the mystery pills into a Ziploc. Later, I drove it straight to a pharmacist I knew from high school, Maya, now running a little shop near downtown. She took one glance. "Rachel, this is Dunpezil. This is not something your mom should be taking. Side effects are confusion, paranoia, memory issues." Her voice sharpened. "Who prescribed this?" I couldn't answer. That night, I told Eric everything. eBay listings, the pill ID, even Maya's confirmation. His face stayed blank, like I just recited a weather forecast. "Rach, people sell knockoff jewelry all the time. And those pills, maybe the doctor adjusted her meds. You're seeing conspiracies." I slammed the manila folder down on his table so hard his coffee sloshed. "Look at the clasp, Eric. It's hers. She is being drugged and robbed under our noses." He pushed back from the table, jaw tight. "You're obsessed. Maybe you want there to be a villain so you don't have to face that mom's getting old." That broke something in me. Because I wanted to be wrong. I wanted this to be me overreacting. But I had the proof. Later that week, I came home and found Mom standing in the backyard barefoot, clutching the broken frame of her wedding photo like a weapon. She was shaking, whispering, "They're watching, they're watching." Through the window, I saw Tara on her phone, smirking. That was it. I called the agency that employed her. At first, they brushed me off. "She's one of our best." So I emailed every screenshot, every pill photo, the eBay listings. Attached the pharmacist's note. 2 hours later, Tara showed up at the house in a fury. She didn't knock. She barged in, slammed her purse on the counter, and started screaming at me. "You little bitch, you went through my things. You think you're smarter than me?" She grabbed a plate from the drying rack and hurled it at the wall. Shards exploded across the kitchen. Mom screamed. I stood in front of my mother, heart pounding, but didn't move. Tara's voice dropped to a venomous hiss. "You don't know who you're messing with? People like me don't get caught." Then she stormed out, tires screeching, leaving the house reeking of rage and lavender lotion. And that was the moment I decided. I wasn't just catching her. I was going to destroy her. I knew calling the agency wasn't enough. They'd stall, investigate, maybe quietly drop her. That wouldn't protect my mother, and it wouldn't stop Tara from moving on to her next victim. She needed to be caught in the act. So I started planning. Step 1. I bought a set of motion-activated cameras, not obvious ones, tiny, black, the kind you can hide in vents or behind books. That night, while Mom was asleep, I installed one in the kitchen, another in her bedroom aimed at the dresser, and a third in the hallway facing the pill organizer on the counter. My hands shook the whole time, not from fear, but from fury. Step 2. I baited her. I took Mom's old silver charm bracelet, the one she hadn't worn in years because the clasp was broken, and placed it carefully on her nightstand. Then I left an empty velvet box in the drawer, just visible if opened. The next morning, Tara arrived like nothing had happened. Cheery voice, fake smile, that overpowering lavender lotion choking the air. She made tea, chatted with Mom, then, accidentally, nudged the pill organizer toward herself. I pretended not to notice. That evening, when Tara finally left, I pulled the camera feeds onto my laptop. What I saw made me physically gag. She didn't just take the bracelet. She opened Mom's nightstand like she owned it, slipped the bracelet into her scrubs pocket, then smoothed the covers like nothing had happened. Worse, she swapped out half the pills in the organizer, sliding new ones in from her purse. Clear as day, time-stamped, high definition. I had her. But Tara wasn't going down quietly. The next day, I confronted her. Not with screaming, just cold, plain words. "I know what you're doing, and I have proof." Her face crumpled, then twisted. She dropped the mug she was holding and it shattered across the tiles. Mom jumped, hands flying to her ears. Tara started shrieking, actual shrieking, like a banshee. "You're a liar! You're poisoning her against me! I save people like her! She'd be dead without me!" She lunged toward me, eyes wild, before stopping short like she remembered Mom was watching. Then she collapsed dramatically onto the floor, sobbing so loudly the neighbors probably heard. Mom ran to her, hugged her, told her, "It's okay, sweetheart." My own mother, comforting the woman who was destroying her. I had to walk out of the room before I lost it. That night, I uploaded the footage to a hidden drive. I sent copies to Eric, to the agency, to myself in an encrypted email. Insurance. If Tara tried to erase me, the proof would live on. But I wasn't done. She'd been selling stolen jewelry online? Fine. I made a fake buyer account, bid on one of her auctions, my mother's sapphire studs, and won. I arranged the pickup in person. When she showed up at the Starbucks parking lot, I was waiting in my car, phone recording, cops already alerted. She didn't even recognize me at first, too busy scanning the lot for her buyer. But when our eyes met, her whole face drained of color. I hit record, stepped out, and said, "Selling stolen property is a felony, Tara. Smile for the camera." She dropped the jewelry box. Then she screamed, ear-splitting, unhinged, and bolted. The cops grabbed her before she reached her car. And that's where the real nightmare began. Don't forget to subscribe. Update. Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. I've been reading through the comments for hours. Some of you are absolute angels, and some of you are clearly ready to start a vigilante task force in my mom's neighborhood. Special shout out to the person who said, "Get that lavender demon exorcised from the house immediately." I laughed so hard I woke my mom up. So, here's where things stand. The cops took Tara in that night after the parking lot sting. For about 5 minutes, I thought it was over. Done. Case closed. Except it wasn't. She made bail within 24 hours, and instead of hiding in shame, she doubled down. The retaliation started small. My car tires were slashed while parked outside Mom's. The cops wrote it up but basically shrugged. Then we started finding weird things. Mom's mailbox stuffed with ripped-up magazines, her garden trampled. It was like Tara wanted to remind us she was still out there. The worst? Last Thursday night, someone pounded on the front door at 2 a.m. When I looked out, it was Tara. Mascara streaked, barefoot, screaming, "She's mine! She's mine! You can't take her from me!" Mom was sobbing in her bedroom, begging me not to open the door. I called 911, but Tara ran before they showed. And here's the kicker. I got a notice from the agency yesterday. Tara's lawyer is claiming I fabricated the footage, that I planted jewelry in her bag, that I tampered with Mom's medication to frame a dedicated caregiver. She's spinning it like I'm some paranoid daughter who can't face her mom's decline. Eric still doesn't fully get it. He admitted the video looked bad for Tara, but he keeps asking, what if she was following some medical order we don't understand? He says, I need to calm down, let the courts handle it. Meanwhile, Mom jumps every time the doorbell rings. I'm not calming down. This isn't just about stolen jewelry anymore. Tara tried to rewrite my mother's reality. She drugged her, gaslit her, made her believe she was losing herself. That isn't something you just forgive and forget. So, yeah, I've got more cameras set up now. I've got copies of everything saved in 3 different places. And I'm not just waiting for the courts. I'm working on something else. Because if Tara wants to play games, fine. I'll show her what happens when she underestimates a daughter who refuses to let her mother's mind be stolen. Some of y'all said, go scorched earth. Tempting. But I think I've got something sweeter in mind. After Tara's midnight screaming fit at my mom's door, I realized waiting for the system to work was pointless. She wasn't scared. She wasn't even embarrassed. She was trying to flip the script and make me look unstable. So I changed tactics. Step 1. Visibility. Tara thrived in shadows, gaslighting, whispering lies into my mom's ear, slipping pills into organizers. Fine. I'd drag her into the light. I pulled every clip from the hidden cameras and edited them together into a single, chronological video. Jewelry vanishing, pills being swapped, Tara pocketing the bracelet. No narration, No dramatic music, just the raw timestamps and actions. I made 3 copies, one for the police, one for the agency, and one for social media. Posting it online wasn't plan A, but when Tara's lawyer started painting me as some paranoid daughter sabotaging a saintly nurse, I decided she didn't deserve the protection of silence. Step 2. The auction sting. Remember how I bought Mom's stolen earrings off her eBay page? I left the video running while the cops arrested her in the parking lot. That footage showed her holding the stolen jewelry, panicking, then dropping it. Slam dunk. Step 3. The sweet twist. Mom's bingo group. She hadn't been going since Tara made her paranoid, but those women talk more than CNN. I sent the raw footage to one of her closest friends, Miss Judy, who has no filter whatsoever. Within 2 days, everyone at the community center knew exactly what Tara had been doing. By Friday, Tara was the devil of the neighborhood. Parents were whispering, neighbors glaring, and every client family she had lined up through the agency dropped her. The breaking point? A Saturday rummage sale fundraiser at the community center. I just happened to be there with Mom when one of Tara's old patient's daughters confronted her in front of 50 people. "Did you drug my father too?" Tara lost it. Full meltdown. She screamed, shoved a folding chair, knocked over a table stacked with donated crockpots. Kids cried. Somebody filmed it on their phone, and of course it hit Facebook within the hour. By Monday, the agency wasn't reviewing anymore. They fired her publicly. The police had new witness statements, and suddenly her bail hearing got a lot rougher. But here's the sweet part. I didn't need to raise my voice once. She exposed herself. When Mom saw the video compilation, just the truth, no editing tricks, she cried, "Yes, but not out of paranoia. Relief." She clutched my hand and whispered, "I knew I wasn't crazy." That moment? Worth everything. But Tara wasn't finished. The day after the rummage sale incident, I came outside to find my car keyed from headlight to taillight. She wanted me to know she was still out there, still unhinged. And that only meant one thing. My revenge wasn't over yet. The keyed car should have been my warning, but Tara didn't stop at vandalism. She escalated. One evening, I walked into Mom's kitchen and found the back door wide open. Mom was trembling, whispering, "She was here. I smelled her lotion." The lavender hit me too, faint but unmistakable. Tara had been inside the house. That was the line. I called the cops, showed them the video compilation again, begged them to step up. They promised extra patrols, but anyone who's dealt with small-town cops knows what that means. Maybe one drive-by if they're bored. So I fortified. New locks, a deadbolt, a camera facing every entrance. I even moved a cot into Mom's living room so she wasn't alone at night. I wanted her safe, but honestly, I wanted Tara to try something, and she did. 3 nights later, motion alert buzzed on my phone. I opened the feed, and there she was. Tara, in the yard at 1 a.m., barefoot again, mascara streaked, rocking side to side while muttering. She was holding something, a photo of my parents ripped from its frame, the glass edges glittering under the porch light. I called 911, but before they arrived, she hurled the photo at the door so hard it splintered. Then she started pounding her fists against the wood, screaming, "She's mine! She's mine!" The cops hauled her off again, but she made bail again. That's when I realized legal channels weren't enough. Tara thrived on attention, good or bad, and the courts kept giving her a stage. I needed to cut off her oxygen, so I flipped her trick back on her. I pulled the neighborhood into this. I went door to door with a folder of screenshots, the video compilation, and a simple ask. If she comes near here, record her. Don't intervene, just record. People didn't need convincing. Half of them already had their own creepy Tara stories. Missing trinkets, odd visits, small things brushed off as coincidences. 2 days later, she walked down our block like nothing was wrong, trying to wave at neighbors. Instead, 10 phones came out. Cameras followed her every move. She cracked fast, started yelling, flailing her arms, insisting she was the victim, that I was brainwashing the neighborhood. It went viral locally. Lavender Lunatic was the headline one Facebook group used. Not classy, but effective. The agency that fired her issued a statement distancing themselves. The DA, suddenly facing public pressure, upgraded the charges from theft to elder abuse with intent to defraud. But Tara didn't disappear. The night before her court date, someone threw a rock through Mom's front window. Taped to it was a note in thick black marker. "You ruined my life. I'll ruin yours." I picked the glass out of the carpet while Mom sobbed on the couch, and I swore, out loud this time, I wasn't going to wait for courts or neighbors or cops. If Tara wanted to haunt us, then I was going to make her a ghost. Update 2. I didn't think I'd be back this soon, but holy hell, things exploded after my last post. First off, I owe so many of you a thank you. The support, the advice, even the dark humor, buy stock in lavender lotion before you take her down, has kept me sane. Some of you told me to move Mom out immediately. Others said I should have gone nuclear months ago. And then there was the one guy who commented, "This nurse isn't just a thief, she's a cult leader with one follower." That one stung because, yeah, that's what it felt like. Here's where things stand. 1. The viral video worked. The neighborhood footage of Tara melting down in broad daylight is everywhere now. It's been shared in local groups, sent to the agency's clients, even played at the town council meeting by a woman whose dad had also been in Tara's care. The DA actually called me, not the other way around, to say they've upgraded charges to felony elder abuse and prescription fraud. They want her off the streets. 2. The retaliation got darker. The rock through the window wasn't the end. 2 nights later, someone spray-painted "liar" across Mom's garage door in red. Mom cried when she saw it, but instead of collapsing, she said, "Rachel, make her stop." That was the first time Mom didn't doubt me. She asked me to fight for her, and I promised I would. 3. The community is on our side. This is the part I didn't expect. Mom's bingo group? They've basically turned into her personal security team. Judy and 2 others come by every morning now to check the locks. Neighbors keep their cameras rolling. People who used to wave politely now cross the street just to tell me, "We've got your back." But Tara? She's unraveling fast. Her lawyer filed a motion claiming I fabricated the neighborhood footage, that people only recorded her because I told them to bully her. The judge didn't buy it. You can hear her screaming in every video clear as day. Still, knowing she's desperate makes me uneasy. A lot of you said, "Be careful, cornered animals bite." And you're right. She's already keyed my car, broken into the house, thrown rocks, and now she's facing prison time. What's next? I'm not waiting to find out. I've started planning something final, not just legal, not just cameras. Something that will make her choke on the same paranoia she shoved down my mother's throat. A kind of revenge that doesn't leave bruises but leaves scars she won't shake off. Reddit, you wanted scorched earth. I'm not burning it down. I'm salting it. So nothing she plants ever grows again. I couldn't just wait for Tara to lash out again. Every time the window rattled or a dog barked outside, Mom would flinch. She deserved peace. So I built the trap. Step 1. I took Tara's own tactics and turned them against her. She thrived on making Mom question reality, slipping pills, moving objects, twisting words. I decided to make her doubt her own grip. I made flyers with still images from the videos, her hand pocketing jewelry, her stuffing pills into the organizer, and plastered them around places she'd have to pass. The grocery store bulletin board, the laundromat, even the church entrance where she used to volunteer. Each flyer had bold letters. "Elder abuse is a crime. Have you seen this woman?" With a hotline number. Anonymous, but devastating. Step 2. I planted the reminder close to home. I printed one photo, her mid-scream, veins bulging, eyes wild, from the rummage sale meltdown. I slid it under the wiper of her car. No note, no words. Just her own face staring back. Step 3. The psychological squeeze. With a few calls, I found out where she was crashing, at her cousin's rental across town. So I asked neighbors there to keep an eye out. Within days, she couldn't step outside without someone filming her. Kids on bikes followed her down the street chanting, "Lavender lunatic." She wasn't just losing jobs, she was losing anonymity. The result? She spiraled. Fast. I know because I saw it. Court day. She staggered into the parking lot, hair unwashed, muttering to herself, clutching a tote bag like it was armor. When she spotted me, she pointed and screamed, "She's poisoning me! She's in my head!" The bailiff had to drag her inside. Mom was with me that day. For the first time in months, she squeezed my hand instead of pulling away. "She looks sick," Mom whispered. And I realized Tara was unraveling exactly the way she'd tried to make my mother unravel. That was the revenge. Not fists, not screaming, just making her drown in the same paranoia she weaponized. The DA introduced my edited video, the neighborhood recordings, even the eBay transaction. And then, like fate was writing poetry, Judy took the stand. That woman told the court in her loud bingo hall voice exactly how Tara had been whispering to Mom about losing her marbles. The jury didn't even blink. By the end of the hearing, Tara's bail was revoked. They cuffed her right there. She shrieked, tried to lunge at me again, but her voice cracked like glass. Walking out, Mom looked at me and said, "You gave me my mind back." But here's the truth. Revenge didn't feel clean. It felt messy, jagged. Watching Tara dragged away, screaming and spitting, I realized this wasn't just victory. It was a scar we'd both carry. And yet, for the first time, Mom wasn't afraid. After the hearing, life didn't snap back to normal. The glass in the window was replaced, the locks reinforced, but Mom still checked the doors 3 times before bed. Old habits don't die easy. But something did shift. The day after Tara was cuffed, Mom sat at the kitchen table, turning her sapphire studs in her fingers, the same ones I'd bought back through that sting. Her hands were steady for the first time in months. She looked at me and said, "I thought I was disappearing." "No," I told her. "She was trying to erase you." Big difference. And in that moment, I realized what had been stolen wasn't just jewelry, it was trust. Mom had doubted her own mind, doubted me, even doubted reality itself. Getting her things back was symbolic. Getting her certainty back, that was the real victory. As for Tara, she's not haunting us anymore. She's sitting in county lockup, facing multiple felony counts, elder abuse, prescription fraud, theft. With the video, the eBay evidence, and witness testimony, her lawyer has almost nothing to work with. The DA told me flat out, "We're aiming for years, not months." But here's the thing. I didn't walk away feeling triumphant. Revenge isn't fireworks and champagne. It's standing in a wrecked living room, sweeping glass out of the rug, while your mother finally sleeps without nightmares. It's driving past the Starbucks where you staged the sting and feeling sick, not proud. What makes it worth it is the small things. Mom went back to bingo last week. Judy and the others welcomed her like she'd never left. She wore her pearl necklace. Yes, we found it in one of Tara's pond lot boxes the cops recovered. And she smiled. Really smiled. Eric? He finally admitted he was wrong. He stood in Mom's yard, staring at the new security cameras and said, "You saw it before anyone else did." That was as close to an apology as I'll ever get. And me? I learned revenge doesn't erase scars. It just makes sure they belong to the right person. Tara wanted my mother to live in paranoia, trapped in a world where nothing was solid. Now she's the one pacing a cell, wondering what's real, what's left, who's watching. Poetic enough for me. When I tucked Mom in tonight, she said, "I'm not afraid anymore." That's the ending I wanted all along.